Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023. I hope everyone is loving this hot weather we're having in certainly Western Europe. And you know what's not loving it right now is the price of oil. So, despite the Saudi cut of another mill, we are quite underwater here on oil. WTI front month. Which is trading July at the moment. So I actually like the 7044s for the longs here. If it's gonna pick up its socks, it's gonna do it from here. Otherwise, I think we're going not only the 6920s to oil to the downside, but way lower. Now let's pull up here. Okay, so 7044s. I've derived this from a couple of different tools that I use daily. So I think if we give it up here, it's good. I think we're going to 67.15s this week, potentially lower. All right, potentially lower. So you might think, well, hold on, Tim, you're smoking crack because the Saudis have cut another million barrels. Well, you know what? Where did they cut the previous million? It was up here, and look where we are. Okay, so we cut another mill. It's kind of starting to look like the cuts are leading to lower prices. So get your head around that one. Generally there's this big old area up here that we should really, take careful note of, that we have not been able to pull back and hold into there around the 70.55s. I mean, that's just a loose level, but I'm kind of using this low here of the 28th of November 2022 to kind of bookend that kind of upper register of trade, if you like. I mean, you could obviously go down to here, but that doesn't really tell you that much. So look, 7044s, I think we need to close today above here, and if we don't, I think 67.15s to 37s, 63.37s to the downside, and lower. Now it's really hard to imagine prices that low with the cuts that are in effect. So that's why it would really surprise the hell out of me if we do trade below 67.15s, for example, this week. The White House is now actively buying in this market as well.
Bitcoin extends drop after the Coinbase is sued by.
You really got to think about that one. Something that we need to look at today as well is Bitbook. So spot rate on Bitbook here is we're currently trading at let's see, 25,540s, call it. So we're down about just over 0.5% on Bitbook at the moment, but really you can see that this really nice area that we have above and have above for like 2 years now, we're just not able to hold in here. We gave it up there in around May 2022 last year, and we've been trying to get back inside ever since. So if I kind of zoom into what's happening here, daily bars, with just a couple of days, we just have not been able, once we broke down here, just not able to get back in, and off to the races to the downside. For me, I think we're going to 228s and 693s, 21 693s to the downside, to then maybe see if we want to pick up some buyers again down here, as we did before we bid up of the 20,000 marker, say. All right, that's Bitcoin. So do be careful out there on Bitbook. Equities really getting a bit smacked down yesterday, brought back to earth. The S&P, no stranger. I'm actually going to have to update this chart. There's a little bit of a gap there that shouldn't be there, but we can operate. There we go. So really this 42.84 is the level this morning, and you can see if I zoom in here on the 30-minute bar, look at that, like the 42.84 is just high of APAC range, high of London range. Well, so far we just can't do it, but for me there are buyers here on the 42.72's half. So let's see, I think if we can hold this 42.72's half, look for the longs. It could even be a tiny little flush out and then find itself back up and then look for the longs, but it all seems a bit too heavy to me. So I think, if we do get a push again to the 42.85's half around the high, I'll be a seller, and then buy it back 42.72's, leave some runners on for the capitulation of failure to the downside. Yeah, I like that. On equities today. And Nasdaq. I mean, Nasdaq you know, it's had a really impressive run. Like the highs it's hit here. I talked about this last week with the guys. This kind of zone up here, really important area. It's kind of like this sort of step high here that we got back. These are daily bars back in around April last year. See all these multiple highs, just could not get above there. Once we step down below 14.7, 7.11s, we'll call it 7.17s, we just couldn't get back inside there. And so that's the area now. If we fast forward to where we are today on the daily bars, that's what we're testing here. That's what we're testing here on the NASDAQ yesterday. So, you know, a lot of resistance here. I don't think it's got the stones to go higher. I don't think it does. I mean, what's going to be the catalyst for that? What's going to be the catalyst for that? Nvidia, the chat's coming in now as well. People are coming back to earth a little bit more now on Nvidia, realizing that the current levels pricing is 70 times EBITDA. So they would have to trade for 70 years at the current rate to justify the current value. That's basically how I would look at that, right? So, you know, if you're buying Nvidia at these prices, well, just realize that you're going to hope to sell that to someone who wants to be a buyer of 80 times EBITDA, 90, 100 times EBITDA on Nvidia. So I don't think it gives out any divvies either. So, you know, I'm not interested if there's no dividends, I'm not there. That's basically my mantra for the longer term equity plays. All right, gold back to the highs on day here. Did we talk about oil? We did talk about oil, and there you see the 70.44 is coming in. Ollie and myself were looking at this before I started the recording, so I like this, and this is exactly what oil has to do from this point. It's got to bid up out of here and hold the line there, you know, or else we're talking about major downside prices on oil. I mean, major downside prices. What else can we look at? The Dow, kind of same as all equities. Yeah, the dollar I think is keen to do a lot more upside here, and I just think it's going to take a little while. But yeah, 104.51 to the upside, QPVAH there to trade. And then I would not be looking to buy a breakout on to the upside on that level. You're really going to be there's gold new highs on day. So just you're going through the gold open right now at 120. So yeah, I think look, buy a pullback onto VWAP on Dixie and then a bit on up here, and that might be equities to the downside as well. So you know, be careful on equities. I don't, you know, if you're buying at these levels on the indices, well, God bless your little trading socks. All right, this has been the Pre-US. I'm Tim. I'll talk to you later.